this is a very big year for Brazil. We have the World Cup starting next month, and we have a presidential election in October. And both of these are crucial events in Brazil's history. They could be turning points. And against this patch, as we heard earlier during lunch, Brazil has been going through a bit of a slow period economically over the past 3 to 4 years. Nevertheless, business opportunities still abound, as I'm sure Marcus will explain to us following the big merger that Cosan has just done recently. But I thought what we could do is perhaps begin by asking Dick about the global outlook and perhaps how this is affecting emerging markets such as Brazil.
Yeah, basically we've been in expansion in the global economy for about 5 years after the global financial crisis. But the initial year was very strong, and then it decelerated. And we had 2 years in 2012 and 2013 of expansion, but subdued expansion in the global economy. And what we're anticipating in 2014 and extending into 2015 is somewhat of an acceleration in global economic growth. But it's likely to be led by the advanced economies, by the developed economies, not by the emerging markets.
And Carlos, how do you see things panning out for Brazil in this near-term outlook?
Well, you have said rightly, it is an unusual year, an unusual combination of a World Cup with elections. And this, by the way, will expose Brazil or Brazil vulnerabilities in a much greater way than it usually would be the case. I think that this is happening in a situation that Brazil has been underperforming. We are now, for already 3 or 4 years, growing at a very slow pace and with very strong and growing imbalance, especially inflation. Inflation is at a very high level, despite price controls and despite central bank has been recently more forceful in terms of tighten up monetary policy.
Marcus, you've spoken before about the issue of confidence. Can you perhaps give us a private sector point of view of where the economy is at and what's needed?
What I believe the private sector sees is Brazil has the tools to change domestically. So at the end, I think there are a few places in the world where actually you can do yourself the changes that you need to grow and to, let's say, change the game. We still have in Brazil, and I think there's no economy with the size of Brazil that actually still has so much infrastructure to build. And therefore, we still have a lot of projects, infrastructure projects, that actually have good returns, provided that we have what you need in terms of concession terms and let's say, regulatory framework set. So Brazil has in its hands a big opportunity today to grow with efficiency tied to it, which is in our hands at the end.